Hey everyone, how is your dry January going? Do you feel like you can keep going and make it through the rest of dry January? Or are you feeling like you want to quit and be done with dry January? If no matter which one you are, this week on the Going Alcohol Free podcast is going to be for you. So today we are at the midpoint of dry January. It's January 16th and it is episode 16 of the Going Alcohol Free podcast. Hi, I'm Lise. I am your host and I want you to think about this. So if you are a climber climbing Mount Everest, you have the trip up, you have your few moments at the top, and then you have your trip down. And if we are the climbers of Mount Everest right now, today, we would be at the very top of Mount Everest. And then tomorrow would be on our way down to back to base camp. So today we just get to relish at being midpoint of dry January. First of all, I know I said this yesterday, but I really want you to give yourself a pat on the back or a big virtual hug and tell yourself, congratulations. Tell yourself that you are proud of yourself for doing this. And you're listening to this podcast, you're watching this on YouTube or listening. So you're still here. You're still wanting to do dry January. And I just want to commend you for being here. All right, you guys. So as I mentioned yesterday, this is week 3 and I have something planned special for us. So what do I have planned special for us? It is Soul Care Week. Soul Care Week. So instead of self-care, it's soul care. And what we are going to be doing is for the next 7 days, we are going to be doing a mini soul care challenge. A mini soul care challenge. What we want to do is have our soul feel amazing during this week. And it's kind of like if you think about self-care, what self-care is trying to make your body feel amazing, but we are doing soul care. We want to have our soul feel amazing this week. And I can tell you that this is something that I did on my going alcohol free journey. Now, remember, I didn't know that I was on a going alcohol free journey. I just thought I was like on a cutback journey. I did not realize that I was going to be alcohol free. And what I am sharing this week and on this podcast is basically how I did it. And I'm really not holding anything back from you guys. I want you all to, whether or not you are just seeing what it's like to be without alcohol right now, dry January, or whether you are perhaps on a cutback journey to cut down on how much alcohol you're consuming. Or maybe you just know that alcohol is not right for you anymore and you want to remove alcohol from your life. Well, I did it on a slow basis. And that's what I want to just share with you how I did it. And so what I'm doing is I'm thinking back to how did I do it? And I'm taking you on this journey. And so while Dry January is a specific event that we are working on together, the podcast, once Dry January is over, is really going to be all about helping you all cut back or re-examine alcohol, your relationship with alcohol, and or remove it from your life. But no matter what, my goal is to make your life better. That's why I'm here and that's why I'm doing this. And so this little mini soul care challenge is a part of the big picture. And yeah, so that's just kind of what I wanted to share about the soul care challenge. So let's think about our soul and how do we, now, again, this is all just me and my thoughts about spirituality, as I mentioned yesterday. Our soul is our essence. It's our energy. And sometimes when we are drinking, like especially when I was drinking, I was suppressing my soul and it was not awake, basically. I mean, it I was sleepwalking through life. And so what we're going to do this week is kind of wake our soul up a little bit and just make our soul feel good. And we're going to do that through mindfulness because I believe that, and this is my own belief, okay? But I believe that the mind is the portal to the soul. And whatever you are thinking in your mind, your thoughts, is how your soul is going to feel and react. And so if you are thinking a lot of negative thoughts, your soul, of course, is going to feel suppressed. It's going to not be happy. But if we are thinking thoughts that bring us joy and happiness, how will your soul feel? And so, what we're going to do today is there's a little mini challenge that I want to challenge you to do. And we're going to leave. Remember, this is a safe, judgment free place for all of us. Okay. We are going to throw all of our judgments of each other out the window. I'm not judging you. You're not judging me. And we're just going to throw those all and leave them behind. So, for today's mini self soul care challenge, what I want you all to do is I want you to go to your front door or to your back door, wherever you live. Everybody has a front door and most people have a back door. So go to your front door or your back door and open it up. And what I want you to do is I want you to look out of your front door and I want you to notice all of the beauty in nature around you. So I want you to look at your your lawn or your rocks or your cactus or your trees or your snow or your leaves or whatever is out in your front door. And I want you to leave all of the judgment behind. In other words, I don't want you to be looking out there and going, oh, look at all the snow I have to be shoveling, or look at all of the leaves over in the corner, or look at all the dirt at my front doorstep, or look at my dirty car that I need to be washed. None of that. None of that today. We're going to leave all of that behind. Instead, what we're going to notice is the beauty around us. Look at the beautiful sky, whether it's gray today, if it's snowing where you are, or raining, whether it's blue and sunny, or if it's nighttime and the stars are out and you can look at the beautiful stars, or maybe the clouds are covering the stars and it's just a dark, dark night. Maybe there's no moon. Maybe there is a moon. Maybe there's sun out. Maybe there's no sun out. I want you to just open your door, look at the beauty outside, leave all the judgment behind. And I want you to just be mindful in that moment of how beautiful nature is. I want you to sit there and look at that for about 30 seconds. These mini soul care challenges each day is going to take less than a minute. I know, I respect your time and I know that you're busy, but I know that this is also important to you, or you wouldn't be here listening or watching the podcast, right? And don't forget, the podcast is also on YouTube in case you prefer to watch, but it's also on your favorite podcast player as well. And I want you to just feel how your soul feels when you just notice the beauty around you. Take it all in. Go through your five senses. What are you seeing? What are you smelling? What are you hearing? Are you touching anything? Are you able to bend down and touch the grass or touch the snow or anything like that? Go through your senses and look at everything and do that for 30 seconds. And then I would love for you to remember the rest of the day how you felt for that quick 30 seconds where nothing else mattered other than what you were just taking in at the moment. And that is the mini soul care challenge for today. Now, I know that some of you are probably my age, and I will be 51 in a couple of weeks, and I'm really excited. But some of you are probably my age. Some of you may be older. Some of you may be younger. But do you remember the movie Karate Kid with Fred Machio? Well, do you remember Mr. Miyagi? Okay. And in that movie, Mr. Miyagi was teaching, what's his name? Fred. Anyway, you know who I'm talking about. Ralph Macchio, not Fred. Ralph Macchio was teaching him how to do karate because he got beat up at school in high school. And he said, Mr. Miyagi, can you teach me karate? And Mr. Miyagi said, yes, me teach you karate. And he had Danielson start to wax the car, he had a bunch of cars. So wax his cars. And he was doing like the whole wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. And he had to do that for all of his vehicles, Mr. Miyagi's vehicles. And then the next day or the next week, he had to paint the fence where he was painting Mr. Miyagi's fence. And he was doing this, with a special technique with his wrist to paint the fence. And finally, Danielson, I said, Mr. Miyagi, I'm tired of cleaning, painting your fence and waxing your cars. And Mr. Miyagi went to go at Ralph Macchio, at him. And he immediately used some of the techniques that he had just learned from Mr. Miyagi, from doing the wax on, the wax off, and from painting the cars. And he immediately used that technique to block Mr. Miyagi. So all along, while he was doing these exercises that he thought were stupid, he was learning a technique. And so while I don't think that you all are thinking these are stupid, I know you might be wondering, well, why are we doing these little mini self-care challenges? Because the same reason Mr. Miyagi had Danielson wax on, wax off, and paint the fence. You will start to see this at the very, as we are going through the rest of dry January, how it all ties together. And one of the things that as I was going on my alcohol-free journey, which I am going to share my story with you all after dry January is over with, because I think that you'll find it fascinating. But one of the things that as I was going on my journey, I never told myself I couldn't drink. Okay. I focused on things that were bringing my soul joy. I focused on that. Hence how I came up with this little mini soul care challenge for us today or this week. So I don't want us to focus on the not drinking aspect. I want us to focus on the aspect of bringing joy to our life and filling that void of drinking with pleasure and joy. So that is the method behind my madness here, you guys. I promise. I have a method behind my madness, you guys. I do. And one last thing is, we're not saying no to alcohol. What we're saying yes to is our life. We're saying yes. When we say no to alcohol, what we're doing really is we're saying yes to our life and to our joy and to our fulfillment and just having an amazing, joyful, fun, amazing life. Okay. I want you all to remember that. So please do these little mini soul care challenges with me, because I promise you, I have a method behind my madness here. Okay. All right. And with that, we are going into the second segment of the show here. And I know that many of you know that I don't drink caffeine, but I do love my Starbucks. And so you're probably thinking, well, what do you drink at Starbucks if you don't drink caffeine? So let me share with you what I do drink. I love the decaf Americanos. So decaf Americanos. And I add a splash of cream. So sometimes heavy cream, sometimes half and half. Today, I didn't put any cream in it because I had some at the house and I was going to put some oat milk into it today. So I wanted to share what I love from Starbucks. And that is what I love from Starbucks. A venti decaf Americano with a splash of cream unless I'm coming home and then I add my own cream to it. So maybe you guys give that a try sometimes if you are wanting to stay away from all the sugary drinks and from some caffeine. Give yourself a break from the caffeine. Please do try the Americano at Starbucks. Okay. And now it is time for our segment number 3. We're just moving right through this. I did talk a lot in segment 1 here, but I wanted to explain everything behind what we're doing for Dry January and why we're doing it. So the Soul Care Challenge. But today, so I share my oracle card with you all every single day because I like to pull a card and then I journal on it and I tap into my intuition. And my intuition told me that I needed to bring this challenge, this little soul care challenge to you. And that's how I came up with it, was when I was journaling on one of the oracle cards this past week. So today's card comes from this beautiful deck, the Wild Offering Oracle from Tasha Silver and artwork by Katie Daisy. If you guys are listening on the podcast and not watching, I'll put a link in the show notes so that you can take a look at the card if you want to. Now, this deck is different because it does not come with a guidebook. It just comes with the card itself and the message is written on the card. But before I read the message on the card and show you the card, I want to share what she says. So she says, "Dear friends," and I'm not going to read the whole thing. I just want to read why she didn't include the guidebook. "Some cards begin by describing a situation followed by a prayer, as does ours today, our card, whereas other cards simply contain a prayer. The card you draw is the one meant for you in the moment. This deck can be used as an oracle where the divine guides you to a specific card, or as a fun way to get helpful reminders from the divine to carry with you or put on your altar." You know what? The card that I picked today, it jumped out of the deck. And I was like, okay, that's the card, because I was picked it up and it just like jumped out. And wait till I share the card with you and the message on it, because when I read this, what she's saying, right, what I'm reading to you right now, where she says, you know, the card you draw is the one meant for you in the moment. Yeah. I mean, it was really crazy how it just popped out of the whole deck. And you know what? I think I'm definitely meant to share it with you all today. This deck can be used as an oracle where the divine guides you to a specific card, or as a fun way to get helpful reminders from the divine to carry with you or put on your altar. One of the best ways to learn the ancient practices of surrender and offering is through playfulness and spontaneity. So please use this deck in this fashion. Spontaneity, like it just popped out. Okay, you ready for the card? Here it is. It is a turquoise and a beautiful electric blue color with a butterfly on it and some flowers. And it says spaciousness. And it says, "What do I no longer need? What do I no longer need? Help me, God, to release whatever people, places, or things drain my vital essence. Show me what will fill me with enthusiasm and joy. Show me what will fill me with enthusiasm and joy. Help me, God, to release whatever people, places, or things drain my vital essence." Isn't that so funny how it plays into our soul care challenge today? Spaciousness, and how I'm having you look out your front door or your back door into the spaciousness of nature and show me what will fill me with enthusiasm and joy. And that is what I'm asking you all to do with today's challenge, is look at it outside with enthusiasm and joy and leave all of your judgments behind, of what you may or may not need to do to your front yard or to your backyard. You're just enjoying everything as it is and leaving all of the judgment behind. Remember, this is a safe space for all of us. And I'm asking you all to hold space for yourself as you look out your front door and your back door and feel the beautifulness and the beauty of nature, and take it all in and let your soul enjoy it today. And with that, you guys, that's it. We're at the top of the mountain, day 16. we're now on the backside and we are heading back down to base camp. And I'm here to guide you the whole way. With that, have a great rest of your day, and I will see all of you tomorrow. All right? Thanks for being here. I appreciate all of you. Bye for now.